When Ethan first saw her, he almost thought he was being pranked. There she was, sitting at the corner table of the restaurant, wearing an oversized, faded hoodie, messy hair tucked under a baseball cap, and old sneakers that had clearly seen better days. Everyone around turned to look. Some chuckled under their breath. Others whispered. But Ethan, he just stood there, frozen, unable to move. Because something about her eyes, calm, kind, unshaken, told him this wasn't a joke. It was something deeper. Something real. Hey everyone, welcome to your channel name, where we share stories that touch hearts, remind us of humanity, and show the true power of kindness. That if you enjoy stories that make you feel something, don't forget to and tell us what you'd have done if you were in Ethan's shoes. And now, let's get into this incredible story. Ethan was the kind of man people read about in magazines, young, successful, and intimidatingly confident. By 35, he was the CEO of a fast-growing tech company in Chicago. People admired him, envied him, and if they were honest, feared him a little. But what most didn't know was that Ethan's success had come at a cost. His friends had drifted away. His parents barely saw him. His heart, once full of laughter and warmth, had been replaced by schedules, deadlines, and deals. He didn't believe in love anymore. That changed when his mother, ever the matchmaker, convinced him to try something different, a blind date. "Just one dinner," she said. "You've been alone too long, Ethan." He reluctantly agreed. The restaurant was fancy, quiet, the kind of place where even the lights seemed expensive. He checked his watch, ordered water, and waited. When the hostess pointed toward the woman in the corner, he almost thought it was a mistake. That woman couldn't be his date, could she? She looked nothing like the polished, high-society women he usually met. Her clothes were old, her shoes scuffed, and her hands looked like they had done real work. But then she looked up and smiled. Something about that smile made him sit down. "Hi," she said simply. "I'm Lily." Her voice was soft but steady. "Ethan," he replied, trying not to stare too long. That he had 1,000 questions, but the first words that escaped him were, "Rough day?" She laughed lightly. "You could say that. I was volunteering at a shelter before coming here. Didn't have time to change." Volunteering? At a shelter that was new. He had met women who boasted about their degrees, their careers, their designer bags, but no one had ever mentioned spending their day serving soup to strangers. As they talked, Ethan noticed something odd. Lily didn't seem interested in impressing him. She asked about his life, but when he mentioned his company, she didn't react like most people did. She didn't ask about his income, his house, or his car. Instead, she asked, "Do you like what you do? Does it make you happy?" The question stunned him. Happiness. When was the last time someone had asked him that? He thought about it for a moment, then said quietly, "I used to." She nodded as if she understood. "Sometimes success can make you forget what really matters," she said. "But kindness, that never loses its meaning." Her words stayed with him long after dinner ended. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about Lily, her unpolished honesty, her warm eyes, the way she looked past his expensive suit and spoke to him like he was just another person. The next day, he called her. They started meeting more often, coffee, long walks, volunteering together at the shelter she loved. Every time he saw her, he felt something he hadn't felt in years, peace. She was different. When she smiled, she didn't light up a room because of beauty, she lit it up because of sincerity. Once, when they were serving food at the shelter, he noticed how she knelt down to talk to a homeless man, holding his hand like he was family. "You don't have to do that," Ethan said softly afterward. "I know," she replied. "But kindness doesn't come with conditions." That sentence hit him like lightning. He realized that while he had spent his life chasing success, she had found something far richer, purpose. One rainy evening, after a long day of meetings, Ethan showed up at the shelter unannounced. He found Lily washing dishes, her sleeves rolled up, her hair tied back in a messy bun. He just stood there for a moment, watching her. "Rough day?" she asked, smiling when she noticed him. He laughed. "You could say that." Without thinking, he rolled up his sleeves and started helping her. They worked side by side, soap bubbles and laughter filling the small kitchen. When they finished, she looked at him curiously. "You know," she said, "you don't seem like the type of person who'd be here." "What type do I seem like?" he asked. "The type who's forgotten how to slow down," she said gently. "But maybe I'm wrong." He paused, then said quietly, "Maybe you're helping me remember." That night, Ethan drove home soaked from the rain but smiling for the first time in months. Weeks turned into months. Their bond grew deeper, not because of fancy dates or gifts, but because of small moments, shared laughter, acts of kindness, and honest conversations. One evening, Lily invited Ethan to join her in delivering meals to elderly people who couldn't leave their homes. He went along, still in his business suit. At T1 apartment, an old woman opened the door, tears welling in her eyes as Lily handed her a warm meal. "You're my angel," the woman whispered. Lily just smiled and said, "No, ma'am, just a friend." Ethan felt his throat tighten. That night, he didn't just admire Lily, he understood her. Kindness wasn't something she did. It was who she was. A few days later, his board members noticed a change in him. He smiled more. He spoke softer. He started new company programs to help struggling families in Chicago. When his assistant asked what inspired it, he simply said, "Someone reminded me what success is really for." Then came the day he decided to tell Lily how he felt. He planned a simple dinner at the same restaurant where they first met. This time, he showed up early, nervous like a schoolboy. When she arrived, she looked just like before, no fancy clothes, no makeup, just that same natural warmth. He stood up, took her hand, and said, "Lily, when I met you, I thought you were different. But I was wrong. You're not different, you're what everyone should be." Her eyes softened. He continued, "You taught me that kindness isn't weakness. It's strength. The kind that changes people, quietly and deeply. And I never want to forget that again." Lily smiled, tears glimmering. "Ethan, you already haven't." That night, he told her he loved her. And when she said it back, it wasn't dramatic or loud. It was calm, sure, and full of peace, the same peace she had brought into his heart. Years later, they would often laugh about that first meeting. "Remember how everyone stared at me?" Lily would tease. Ethan would grin and say, "Yeah, and I remember thinking I just met the most extraordinary woman in the world." They built a life together, one filled not with luxury, but with purpose. They turned his company's charity work into a foundation that helped thousands of families. And every year, on the anniversary of their first date, they went back to that restaurant, still the same table, still the same love, still the same kindness that started it all.